When I was a young man, I loved the Baldur's Gate series. There was something about the mix of strategy, storytelling, and role-playing that captured something inside me. The need for challenge, for adventure, for escapism. Fast forward 20 years to the present, and this game comes along. Divinity Original Sin 2. While Divinity is a wholly different game, with a different setting, different characters, and different gameplay, its mix of strategy, storytelling, and adventure has captured that part of me that Baldur's Gate did 20 years ago. The setting and story is beautiful and bold. It taps straight into that call to adventure by having you at first persecuted as a criminal, and then promised to have untapped god-level powers. The caveat to this is that your companions, either AI or controlled by your friends, are also promised this divine power, and it's foreshadowed that only one of you can secure that ultimate right. I haven't reached the end of the game yet, so I don't know how this storyline plays out, but it adds a nice little bit of push and pull conflict when it comes to your allies. How far will their allegiances go? Who can you trust? And will they eventually turn on you? The gameplay is stellar, both in combat and out. Your characters have sets of combat and civic abilities, which can both be used when exploring. All open up various pathways to completing objectives or gaining entry to new areas. You can lockpick doors, pickpocket keys, use brute force, spot hidden switches, all of this of course if you have invested enough points in the required skill sets. Each race and personality type will give you distinctly different dialogue options, prompting different responses from NPCs. Each character is forced to specialize in different skills, and when playing with friends you're made to feel like you have a valuable role to play, whether it's in combat or without. The combat itself is strategic and turn-based, and it's bloody glorious. Each combat class has distinct abilities, allowing characters to go it alone or synergize with their team. Rogues blink in and out of combat, assassinating enemies from behind. Mages use magic from afar or up close, slowing enemies down or burning them to bits. Warriors charge in head first to stare down opponents, whereas clerics restore health and wash away status effects. Action points determine how many actions you can take per turn, and every move you make feels important. Slip up and you could let your whole party down, but pull off something awesome and everyone will love you for it. Adding further variety to each battle is the environmental effects caused by elemental spells and devices. Effects like poison, oil, fire, electricity, and ice affect not only characters but the environment around them. These effects also interact. Ice when warmed turns to water, water can be electrified, oil and poison catch fire and burn. When exploring and fighting, being aware of these interactions is vital, and will add to and take away from the tactical options at your disposal. How you react and improvise when faced with these challenges will often mean the difference between life and death. As no game is without its own problems, it's important to tell you that Divinity 2 has a few bugs. There are two particular bugs in Divinity at the moment that are quite frustrating. AI enemies can accidentally attack player characters in melee, even if they are meters apart in height. Say for example if one character is stood on a wooden platform and one is on the ground. As well as this, skills and items on the skill bar often don't register as being selected, leading you to accidentally move your character instead of aiming a skill you thought you had selected. Other than these two bugs however, there aren't many technical problems I've encountered. My only other misgiving concerns the Game Master mode. This is a mode where individuals can create a campaign for other players to play in, much like in a tabletop pen and paper RPG. After tinkering in this mode for a while now, it seems that you can't create a scenario to be played without the addition of the Game Master role. That means that someone always has to be the Game Master, separate from the rest of the party, and acting as a kind of technician for gameplay. Games like Armor allow modders to upload scenarios that can be played out without the need for a Game Master. I realised that the developers here may have had something else in mind when they created this mode, but it seems like a lost opportunity. It would be amazing if modders were able to create game scenarios for publication on Steam Workshop that could be played out like player-made DLC story content. Perhaps I'm wrong about this, and it is possible, or will be in the future. I sincerely hope it will, as it would add so much more content to the game, but only time will tell. Despite these few problems, Divinity Original Sin 2 remains a truly fantastic experience. Its strategic battles and exploration will leave you feeling like you've been challenged. Its storyline will involve you in tales both serious and whimsical, and you can experience all of this with a group of friends or by yourself. Divinity 2 gets a godlike out of 10.
Godlike!